Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to From the Depths. I'm still alive, believe it or not. I had expected that this craft not survive as long as it did, but hey, here we are. Now you guys suggested once again some good things that I need to adjust about this particular craft. For example, I need to be targeting, or I need to be setting up a failsafe, for example, because it appears that the AI is getting a bit trigger happy. And is currently working on blowing up my own ship. We got the bow battery hitting the mast and the stern battery as well. Maybe a failsafe would be an interesting thing to have. Make sure the weapon has a clear line of fire before firing. That sounds like a good idea. So let's put that on. And that should do it. That is, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, crap, it has to go into a local weapon controller. That's it, right here. And then there was one over here. I'll try to move this thing below decks at some point. But what I want to focus on for this particular episode is just mining a couple of resources. So that hopefully I can at some point start making this ship larger. Now, speaking of this ship, I can rename the adventure craft. If I remember how to do it. God, I used to name, or I used to know all this stuff. This is the combat dinghy, as was requested in last week's video. I believe it was, is dinghy with an H, or? No, it's not with an H. Combat dinghy with a Y. There. Now, what do we have? Threat matrix. We have resources here, but not that much. We have some resources there, which is interesting. We have 30,000 over there from the red tuna. And over here we have the walrus for 417,000 materials. So I think it's worth my time and effort to try and sink the walrus. There is talk about taking this thing over, but I really don't know how to do that. So instead, I'm just going to try and blow it up. Alright. The torpedoes. I'm going to swap these and see if I can use them as EMP weaponry instead. Because that might make them more effective. Let's save these things first. No, that's load. This is save. That's the torpedo. And then all of these things, the explosive warheads, are going to be EMPs. Because if I can fry their mainframe, I can pretty easily wreck the ship. Copy to all matching launch pads, and we're done. There was also talk last time around, I believe, about the ballast tank. And I'm just going to set this to neutral. Neutral buoyancy, because that apparently, at least from what I've read in the comment section, is a little better. I would also very much like to go and harvest some materials other than just going over here really close to my intended target, because over here there are a lot of resources and over here there are even more. So let's see, that is behind me. Yeah, that's behind me. Alright, that means behind me is turning around. Let's put the speed back to 1 time. Sorry, that's 0.1. Standard speed. And we're going to start maneuvering. Thrusters on. And we're going to turn to starboard. One of my guns is apparently going off, but I couldn't really tell you against what target. Torpedo's also going off. Quad AA gun holding fire due to failsafe. Excellent. Is that an inbound or an outbound missile? What was that? Oh. I'm going to call that inbound. We have done 299,000 damage to something. No, not the red tuna, because he's in full health. So it's something else. Was it to the other guy? Yes. 28,000 materials over there. As that ship is gone. Now, I may or may not have forgotten that there is another ship out here. So, oh, that looked expensive. Let's go to starboard. If I can still maneuver. Wait for the ship to get repaired. And especially I need my resource crates repaired. Because I can only house 27,000 units of cargo. Add more ammo barrels. Yeah, hold on. The ammo barrels exist, but they've been blown up. So we just have to hold on. Jesus. Quit doing that. I think that's the flare for the resources over there, but it's hard to see. This one is taking minor amounts of damage. This is where we're going. 28,000 resources. Let's see, where are you? Where are you? These waves are making it quite difficult, but apparently my gun can still see them. And the weapon system that I'm most looking forward to firing is the torpedo. Hello, you. Once I have a lot more resources, I want to make the ship larger. And with that, start preparing for further expansions of weapon systems as well. I haven't taken the time yet to build a better cannon, so I'm just going to have to go with either one of the stock weapon systems or, ideally, more torpedoes or missiles. That's my torpedoes flying off. Because I really quite like those. I think they have excellent range. The downside, of course, is the ammunition cost. They're quite expensive to build. Jesus, these waves. 39,000 resources is what I can store. That might not even be enough. Let's set up some more resource stores. Material storage. Is that new? I don't recall a container. Whoa, that's enormous. I don't recall a container like that existing before, but I could be wrong. Let's put that over here in the back, where we still have some room. Over here, click. 47,000 is what we can now store. And another one next in line. 55, 63. Excellent. Alright, AI is dead up ahead. That's a small amount. That's a decent amount. Somebody's making some casualties here. Hold on, where's that ship that I was hitting? I know I'm turning away from it, but... Oh, there it is, the red tuna. She's still alive. Range? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. So, 28,000 to pick up, 4,000 to pick up, another 800. Oh, there's something up ahead, a scuttle gun. Right. Is there a possibility for me to head to the south? Sort of. There is a vanguard out there. Maybe not the safest way to go. And I still really want to head north. I want to head to these sectors. There's just so much up for grabs there. Continue we shall. AI dead, 6 seconds. Okay, but which one are you? Here. Oh, that was the scuttle gun. I'm not sure that was my kill. But if there's 4,500 resources over there, I might swing by and pick those up. Now, my objective is to make this thing the size of a destroyer, so significantly larger. Also, probably come up with something that looks like a bridge, because right now I don't have anything that resembles that, and that means that my means of observation are very, very limited. And I would very much like to increase the way that I can look out of the ship. Binos. How does one equip those exactly? Here. Not bad. 40,000 resources. There we go. Okay, what was the next pull we're gonna get? 4,200. We got an aerial unit coming in. 407,000 resources on the Weaver. I don't like that thing. I really don't like that thing. It might be taking damage. Looks like we did 1.68k EMP damage to something. Another AI dead up ahead. Here. 1,500 resources. Excellent. You know what? We're going to slow it down a bit. Oh. I'm going to slow it down to 0.1 speed. And start building. Because I have 40,000 resources. And I'm eager to spend them. Now, I was promised that alloys would be quite good. Alloy construction strut, glass lightweight alloy. Perfect for vehicles that need to be fast enough to evade attackers. That's not really what this thing is. Let's see, armor 35, armor 40, weight 5. Okay, so it's way lighter. This is, let's say, 1 armor for 1 weight. This is 7 armor for 1 weight. This is quite a lot better. I'm pretty sure that that's one of my systems that just broke off. Alright, so let's replace these metal bits with alloy. And then just expand the ship outward from there. Probably also will make it wider. But as I don't know when I'm going to get the next opportunity to go and adjust the ship, I'm just going to go with what I can adjust right now. And who knows, the ship might even be faster with it. There we go. That's going to be quite a bit of extension. But fortunately, it's not really that expensive. Now, I've just named it Combat Dinghy, but at this point, it might no longer suit the name. Because the ship is just a lot bigger. One of the problems, though, it's not particularly wide. So let's expand it a little bit outwards. Hoping to increase buoyancy. And especially making sure that I don't flip over. Oh, crap. I missed a part somewhere, didn't I? Or are they aligned? No, they're not quite aligned. Ah, it's because I started at the wrong spot. I should have started here. And now I just made it worse. Alright, I'll just delete the whole bunch. Easier to delete these things. Everything that's not attached to the ship falls off, if I'm not mistaken. So, remove this, and this, and this. Yep, there we go, it falls off. Good. And now we're aligned. Right, this is going to make the ship more, well, maybe more survivable. At least that's what I hope. But more importantly, add a lot more room for weapon systems. Ideally, I want to upgrade to large missile systems. But I imagine that that's going to be a while before we get to that part. Because large missile systems, from what I've seen, really expensive. Really, really, really expensive. One more here. Let's go with another block taller, because we might have a bit more buoyancy. But if I want to have larger missile systems on here, I just need more room, shall we say. I'm going to keep the initial structure of the ship intact until I can fully replace it with something else. Jesus. It looks like one of my turrets is blowing the other one apart. Yeah, the bow weapon controller just malfunctioned. Oh well. Let's go with an inverted. Beam. I'm gonna have to replace some of these, I think. Which is not gonna help my buoyancy that much. Or rather, it's gonna kill my buoyancy because I'm gonna have a very large hole in my ship. I just hope it's not going to sink very quickly. Here. There we go. Alright. Next bit. It's hard to see. There were people who suggested that I can lift the entire ship out of the water. if I make some sort of system that, what was it, that pulls it up, like you're building a sky crane of sorts, and then you build your ship on top of that. I think that's really nifty, but it's not something that's within my technical capabilities as of right now. My knowledge of the game is just too limited for that. But I am enjoying it. I am enjoying learning every single week, seeing what works, doing more of that, and removing stuff that turns out not to work too well. Okay, we're almost getting to the point where the bow is going to get narrower. And it's no longer as difficult to override the other blocks. And here we go. Alright, inverted L. To here. Forward, sideways, 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 sideways. And that's the last bit. So, a slope. And then a couple of, what was it again? Triangle corners. There's a torpedo flying out of the ship. Those torpedo tubes will have to get looked at, because if they're going to start launching when that part of the hull is in the way, well, I'm not sure if it's going to go down very well. Hold on. Oh, I didn't do that part quite right. This needs to be... Yeah, you know what? I already have this block selected. Let's do this first. So, here, 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 and here, and here, and that's the bow. And keep building that up. And one more block should do it. There we go. Alright, one more beam. Because I still need to get to the part where I add the L piece. Like that. And then the triangle corner. And then the slope again. Up, 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 up. And then the beams again. Alright, because these are two... Yes, they're two beams. Excellent. Supplies? 31,000. I burned through about 8,000 supplies so far. But there is still more to pick up here. Alright, now to close the stern of the part, or the stern of the ship off, I can just use these things, but straight up, like that. I'm going to add 2 air pumps. I know that I only need 1, but the last thing I need is for 1 to get knocked out, and for the ship to then start taking on water. So I'm going to go with 2. And now I can start removing the original innards of the ship. And start replacing those wooden blocks that I... Oops. Those wooden blocks that I had. Because I no longer need those. Yeah, that can go. It's fine. This one can go. That one can go. We're going to have a pretty sizable ship yet. Whether it's going to be effective, I don't know. Every week, I wonder if I'm going to make it to the next one. So far, I'm somewhat surprised, actually. I'm still here. I'll just redo the hull torpedo system. But hey, so far, we're still here. Despite all the mishaps and narrow escapes that I've had, the ship, sorry, the combat dinghy, is still alive. I do appear to have a small hole. Let's fix that. Alloy, light alloy, beam. Get rid of that. Finally, I'm going to have a uniform hull instead of this patchwork of items. Go away. Over here we still have some more wood. I don't want to get rid of all of it, because I think that if I remove one block And the other blocks aren't attached. At least that's how it works in Space Engineers. If you remove one block and the rest isn't attached, it's going to consider it 2 grids. And considering that this is a slightly different game but uses more or less the same mechanics, what's going to happen here probably is that the whole thing will fall off. Which would be a bit counterproductive. Alright, I need one more here. That's very important, that block. That's the Hearthstone. Sorry, no, that's not the Hearthstone. It's the helm. We'll get to the Hearthstone soon enough. Now, I know I can just press shift-click, but I was very much looking forward to building a more uniform hull. So that's why I'm going about this in a more, let's say, lengthy procedure. These are single blocks. That's the Hearthstone, I think, right there. Yeah. So that one has to be kept intact at all costs, or really quickly replaced if I happen to remove it. This one here, and that one there. And then a bunch more wood where I have some storage items. These can just be deleted. That's the rudders and the propellers. I don't need those anymore. Well, I mean, I do need them. It's nice to have maneuverability on your ship. Especially if it's lightly armored and relies upon maneuverability to stay alive. But for now, I can just temporarily delete it. I would also at some point like to switch over to a, what's it called? An electric propulsion. But I know that RTGs, radiothermal generators, are really expensive. So I'm not that eager to quickly jump over to that system. Okay, I think I have most of the parts. There's still a bit here. Is that it? No, it's here. Up. There's one more wood block there. And these things here. Right, is that the whole hull now? I believe it is. So we now have an alloy hull. And the ship has gained some serious size. Lots larger now. Now just to remove the old bits. That's not removing it. Of course, I should do this from the bottom up, so that everything that's not attached just simply falls off the ship. This bit... It's still attached to something. There we go. Now it's gone. Excellent. Okay. Time to start rebuilding. What I need is a torpedo system. What I need is a lookout. And what I'll also need is some sort of system to go against air targets. Oh, hold on. I think my bow is still a bit leaky. Let's fix that. Here we go. Alright, and that should fix the buoyancy. Right, close the bow up. Let's see. If I'm going to go with a VLS system, so a vertical launch system, I might need to go for something a bit larger. So I would need the boat to be probably one more, or two, maybe 2 more beams taller than what she currently is. Let's go with 1 first and see how that goes. All the way to the front again. And now I have to do the beams again. Yep, the slopes. That's it. And I'm sure there are some of you out there who are going, Jesus, that's an ugly looking ship. Yes, it's an ugly looking ship. It has a bow, and then it just has this large box shape that sort of gets lugged behind it. But hey, it's not really going to win any beauty prizes anyway. Alright, missile system. I want to have ideally large missiles, but as you can see, 2,400 materials just for a launch pad, and then 800 for a large gantry. So that's more future stuff, shall we say. I want to have those launchers in the bow. I'm going to go with a connector line. And then a couple of medium missile pads. Now this is going to probably be a bit of a double-edged weapon system. It's going to go after ground targets and aerial targets alike. I just don't know if 4 is enough. There used to be a system that I had where you could just use a rocket-propelled torpedo. So you have a variable thruster first, and then you have a secondary torpedo propeller. This one ramps up in, let's say, 3 seconds. Thrust output doesn't have to be really high. Start delay, no. So this one throws it up, and then the torpedo propeller will start. 1 fuel tank is probably sufficient for that. So I can replace this one with fins. And then an infrared, no, I want a torpedo sonar. I'm going to make it 1 taller. Again, this is going to be a torpedo sonar. This is going to be an explosive warhead. Warhead. Explosive. Frag warhead. No. Explosive. And this one's going to be a ballast tank and a regulator. Let's see. Lifetime 80 seconds. That's actually a bit too much, probably. 40 seconds. Fuel time? Where was that again? Thrust. Thrust duration, 35 seconds. So that's fine. That's fine. Just need to attach a failsafe to this system, an IFF. And I need to attach a staggered fire add-on. Oh, not like that. Staggered fire add-on. Here, I'm going to set that to a second. Now, I just want to see if this thing will work. Speed it up a little. Unfortunately, the ship right now doesn't have propulsion, so this is going to be a really quick test. There we go. Weapon away. Sea skimming. I don't know exactly how long that rocket assists, or that rocket is going to stay active. There we go. Now you're on torpedo propulsion. 30,000 units of fuel. That's a lot of fuel. Isn't that too much for what I'm trying to do? Because this thing has already traveled about 3,000 meters, I guess? No, I find that hard to believe. Anyway, we first need to restore propulsion to the ship. Let's say that the bridge is going to be close to the radar system. Blocks, light alloy, beam. Split it over the middle as a mirror. Here we go. Okay, so that's your orientation. Yeah, like that. And, well, we'll just redo the whole mast. Which means that the AI right now is blind. But I don't mind it that much. We can live with that. Let's close up some of the rest of the ship. Ideally, of course... You know what? I could just close up the whole ship for now. Since I have the parts for it, I don't really need to be too stingy. Just close that up. And then I might also add quite a few more of those 40mm as a sort of placeholder weapon system. So it's going to be an anti-air gun destroyer, I guess. Maybe that would be a decent name for it. Or a classification. Build, 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 build. Next week's episode, I plan to have more combat in. But this one, I had scheduled to make sure that I could actually go and build something larger. Right. This is pretty much the middle of the ship. This is the mass. And this is where I want my little control vault? Did you call it that? Because that's basically what I'm going to build. Just a large tower-like structure from where I can control the ship. I believe the robot is... what is it again? A couple of blocks high? Oh crap. Am I 2 blocks tall? There was talk of a mirror block or a mimic. Which one was that? Completely ethereal but allows connections. No, I don't think that that's it. Let's go for some lightweight alloy first. And no, hold on. I want to see what the length of the ship or the guy is. So I'm going to use a standard door. Metal bulkhead door. Yeah, 2 blocks tall. That's how tall I am. Okay, so let's make sure that this thing has something I can see out of. Glass. Not sure how protective that's going to be. But that's going to be a bit of an experiment. I'll have another block here. And ideally, of course, it's a 360-degree view. Lightweight block, single block down here. Beams. I need to be able to control the ship from here, so let's put the controls in first. Control. Vehicle controller. That way. I want a chair. And I'll have my heart block in there. So, miscellaneous, heartstone. I'll need to delete the other one, so I'm going to wait for that until I'm ready. Blocks, lightweight, beam. Whoops. And then we're going to have our radar mast with a couple of beams off to the side. This one is not required. I want to make sure that the AI has a place to sit. So a connector. A couple more connectors. And then a connector off to the sides. Like that. Wireless receiver. I'm not even sure if my mainframe is still here. Detector components, 360 detector radar, just to see what targets are out there. And then, what's good for tracking? Is that the camera? 360 degree, detect above water targets, good bearing and accuracy, poor range. Right. Radar range depends on the size of the target above the water, okay. Coincidence rangefinders, nah. Not too big on those. Radar 90. The radar range is based, yeah, okay. Gimbal tracker. Provides very good range and bearing estimates using radar. Turn the mirror mode off. Put one of these things on here. And it's already tracking something apparently. And on the other end, a laser range finder tracker. So that's my little observation mast. Now let's make sure that I can get up on the deck and then build the rest. So jump, We're still jumping in slow mode. Jump again. Yep. Now I can zoom in. I have a pretty decent elevated position here. Not too bad. Okay, let's finish off the bridge. At least my provisionary bridge. I might want to put the hardstone down below me. That's miscellaneous. Hardstone. Let's see, where'd I put it? There. The hardstone extensions. Of the maintain efficiency charge. Right. Is that wireless? Because if so, I could simply put that below decks. Not connected. Do you need to do that with a Wi-Fi connection? Because otherwise I'd have to go right through the deck here. Which I probably can. And it would keep my hardstone quite a bit safer, as it would be deeply in the heart of the ship. And then we'll just make this closed up again. A block like that and a 2-meter beam. And add... what are we going to add? Inverted 3-meter beam. So one there and one here. Slope. For these situations, I'm quite grateful that I have a bit of building experience with stormworks and space engineers. So that I more or less know what I want to go for when it comes to building a bridge. Whoa, 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 whoa. Somebody's engaging me. I have propulsion, or, well, let me rephrase that. I have control, I just don't have any propulsion. Because I never bother to reinstall the rudder and the propellers. So I might need to look into doing that first. Back of the boat, bottom of the boat. Here. Yes, 3-meter beams. Let's see. Water. Propeller. Let's go with a huge propeller. Because the boat got quite a bit more sizable. Why won't you sit? There we go. Okay, we have propulsion again. Now, a rudder. I just think that we're not going to be particularly quick with this ship. Because she probably doesn't have the engine power for it. Jesus, that's getting quite close. Let's get another engine installed. That is fuel engines. Let's just go for another Eco Max. Maybe even 2, actually. Considering that I have quite a bit of engine space, or machinery space here. Not externally vented. Crap. Okay. Is it doable to go for the RTGs? I could have 2 of these. Maybe even 4 of these, just to recharge batteries. And then a really sizable battery here. Backed up with an electric engine. If I remember how to do this correctly... No battery power. There we go. Now we have power. Unfortunately, we're using quite a bit of it. And if I'm moving... am I moving at full speed? I believe I am. I'm moving at full speed. Which is now 25 meters per second. That's actually pretty good, isn't it? Look at that. That needs to go. That needs to go. Alright. Let's, as the last bit of the episode, I was going to say close the bridge up, but also also make sure that I have some weapons on this ship, because I stripped off everything. And it's now coming back to be a problem. Can't have that. For now, I just need to close up this compartment. Because if I open it up for too long, I really expose my little robot. If that one dies, I die and I lose the whole... well, the whole playthrough as it is. And just for the looks, I need to... where's the block? Lightweight armor block. Lightweight alloy block, sorry. Inverted. Oh, crap. Whatever. Let's see, rotate that, spin it, put it down like that. And then for the windows, I need to go with glass blocks, which are sloped. Like that. Another light alloy block. Beam, beam, and 3 singles. So block, block. And then close that up with, that's 3s. 3-meter beams. Click, click, click. Alright, now for the weapon systems. We still have 19,000 resources, which is substantial. I'm going to have 1 gun directly on the deck. Control, weapon systems, simple weapons. That's a bit expensive. I want to go with... no aiming angle, yeah, no thank you. I want to go with one of these. And just directly below it, have the weapon controller. So AI, local weapon controller. And that is connected to 0 weapons. It's probably because I'm not quite below it. There we go, now it's controlling 1 weapon. Wireless receiver. And please have a failsafe. Don't start blowing off other turrets. There we go, immediately opening up. Next, blocks. Lightweight metal block. Beam. Let's go with a sort of a turret setup here. 3-meter beam. 1, 2, 1. I want the AI oh, actually, you know what? We're gonna go with 4s, because that's easier on the AI controller. So block, block, and here. Then I think I need to go 1 higher, 1 taller. So that's the level where the weapon system is going to sit. Then I can squeeze the AI controller in here. Local weapon controller. Over there. Wireless receiver. 1 side. Failsafe. Oh, that's not supposed to be mirrored. Other side. Like that. Close up that dangerously exposed AI. Here and here. And now I can add another weapon. Simple weapons. 40mm quad. Confirm that it's being controlled. Where's my AI weapon controller block? Yep, controlling one of the weapons. And the AI is already tracking. So at least I have some weapons on the ship now. I still have 16,000 left. In the next episode, I'm going to look into adding more weapons. Because for now, I don't want to make this an hour-long video. It's not really part of the plan. The ship is coming along quite nicely. And there's still a lot to be done. But at least I have a larger ship. Hopefully more survivable. Now to add more weapon systems. Especially launchers. Weapon or missile launchers. So join me next week as we're going to be continuing this episode series. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any tips, let me know down below in the comment section, and I'll see you guys soon for another episode.